It's two questions. I've been struggling a little bit with a dilemma. So I live on the East Coast, and my parents who are aging live in Europe. And I've decided I want to move and be closer to them and give them some support and spend what time we have. They're around for a while, but just rebuild our relationship in some way. So that's my intention. And I'm doing it from a place of, to some extent, it's the right thing for me to do, and I'm the one who needs to take care of them. But there are also challenges in being around parents. And so while I have the strong intention coming from more of a place of a little bit of obligation, but also a sense of duty to my parents.
So there is this receiving mode that feels like clarity and appreciation and inspiration. And then there is this receiving mode that feels like overwhelmment. And then there is this receiving mode that feels like duty and responsibility. We know that you're getting the feeling that you should go, but we just want you to be clear about where that inspiration is coming from.
Yes, and so the energy of obligation or...
Do you believe that in the receptive mode, you renew yourself?
Absolutely.
And do you believe that in that state of renewal, when you focus upon your parents, that they benefit? Do you uplift them? Do you make them feel better? Do you give them reason to feel more secure when you are around, when you hold them as your object of attention? Do you pass your receptive mode to them? The answer is always yes to that, because when you are in alignment with who you are and
Right.
you're holding someone as your object of attention, you are offering beneficial energy that creates worlds to them. But the reason that we were wanting to sort of set you up for an understanding is that your parents, like you, have access to this on their own all the time anyway. And that feeling of obligation is sort of misguided because it goes like this. I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and I feel that I need to go and take care of my parents. And in that need, I move my vibration to a different place where I'm now not as replenished, and that's why being with parents is hard.
Correct.
So my dilemma is, how can I stay tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and be with my parents? And we say,
Right.
You can't. Everyone has access to their own stream. And so many people are in their feeling of wanting to support and uplift, sacrificing their alignment, and then not only helping someone else, but rather joining them in a vibration that is more understood by them. You can support anyone from anywhere. That's the thing that we really want to say to you. You don't have to physically be there. You can support anyone from anywhere. Or you can get into the receptive mode and be there so consistently that then you could go there and maintain that. But as long as it feels like struggle, it is. And as long as it feels like sacrifice, it is.
So to sort of get to that place where it all aligns a little bit, do I need to try and move up the emotional scale with respect to how I see my parents in our interactions?
Yes. But here's the thing, where it all aligns. So if you're in the receiving mode,
Right.
don't they need to align with you there? And are they going to? Or are you willing to let the alignment go this way? Where are they on the emotional scale? What do you think?
They have their own alignment going, but it's not necessarily compatible with my alignment all the time.
Is their alignment sufficient for them?
How do you mean? Could you explain that a bit more?
If they've got their own alignment going,
Right.
and everyone has access to source energy, then what is it that you wish to say to them? I see that you cannot do this for yourself, so I've come to do it for you or with you.
Okay, so in that sense, I think they're not as aligned in a lot of ways. And so they struggle a little bit too with that. So I'm not there to magically uplift and align them. I think to some extent it's also an opportunity for me to perhaps heal my relationship with my parents and to spend some time with them and come into line with my own around them.
We're not saying that you shouldn't go at
Okay.
all. We just want you to get consistently into this high-flying place before you go, because that's the only way you have a chance of remaining there. This is the most significant thing that we want to give you, and you're really going to like this. So we are all, no exception, moving forward, and anything that has been before is no longer relevant. So healing a relationship is not about going back and fixing where it went wrong. It's about being all that you really are here and now as you are moving forward. So from our point of view, the best way that you could heal, your words, heal your relationship with your parents is by being so tuned in that the only emotion that you feel when you think about them is one of love and appreciation. That is absolute healing, because you're holding them as your object of attention. You're tuned in to your source energy, and the whole of you is focused upon them. That is the ultimate in healing of a relationship. And with almost everyone we know, you have a much better chance of doing that when you're not with them. Because when you get back into familiar sights and sounds and fragrances, you often return to a vibration that you did leave behind, that is not who you are. And then instead of that appreciation and love, the emotion that comes is one of resentment or difficulty or struggle or misunderstanding, you see. And so really what we're giving to you here is just get into that alignment and get into that alignment and get into that alignment. Hold them as your object of attention in that state of alignment. Let the healing happen within you. Feel the love that the whole of you feels for them. And before you know, you'll begin getting ideas in that receiving mode. You'll begin remembering the best parts of your experience with them. You'll begin to think of new things that you might say to them or new things that you might do together. But it will come from this new forward vibration, not from one of going back and digging around in something and trying to improve something, because you cannot go back. There is no regression, and there's no point in going back. It's like saying, I want to be at the top of this mountain, but I'm going to dig a 2-mile hole and crawl in it first, and then I'm going to crawl out of the 2-mile hole, and then I'll proceed up the mountain. We say, or you could just start climbing up the mountain from where you are.
Right.
You could just proceed from where you are.
And so what you're suggesting is when I get to that greater place of alignment, love, and connection and can be up there, that might be a place I rethink. Then I figure out what I need to do.
Then inspiration will come to you, and you will say, Abraham, I don't really care what you think. This is what I'm going to do, because this feels so exhilarating to me to do it. But there won't be struggle in it. There won't be confusion. It will be certainty and clarity. And the idea of it will thrill you. And beyond the idea thrilling you, when you follow through with the ideas that are thrilling you, then the actualization of it will thrill you too, you see. And you will forget everything that was before, because you can't remember what was before and focus upon what is now at the same time. It's one or the other. Focus here or focus somewhere else. And focusing somewhere else is remembering. Focusing here is being. The whole of you being, you see. Here's another thing we've never said in this clear way. You're really going to like this. You're all going to really like this. Your inner being never looks back. Your inner being is never looking back and trying to tie up loose ends. Your inner being is never looking back and trying to fix things. So every time, we love you so much. 100% of the time that you look back, you cause a crevasse between you and us. Because we never look back. That's why homesick makes you homesick. That feeling of homesick, that feeling of nostalgia, that feeling of regret, you see. So if you're standing in an appreciation of someone, you're not looking back, you're looking forward.
Yes, it's...
Your inner being does not look back. Your inner being stays focused in the now. So now stay with us, because we can feel you, and it was really good questions that you're offering here, and so here's the answers to them. You're really going to like this. So, can you remember something that makes you feel good? Can you remember something that makes you not feel good? So when you're remembering something that makes you feel good, your inner being is focused there too. So remember what you know, or what we know that we're wanting you to remember about your inner being. Your inner being is only pure positive energy. When you make your transition into non-physical, you leave behind all doubt and fear and resentment and regret and worry, and all that moves forward with you is love and appreciation and enthusiasm for life. So that's where your inner being is all the time. So if you are having an inspired thought where you're recalling something from the past and it feels good to you, you can be certain that it's present in your now, that it's something that's active in your now, and that your inner being has joined you wholeheartedly, full vibrationally in that thought. Nice to know. That was a nugget. That was a new piece of business that you have not known that clearly before. So the nugget before that nugget was this: your inner being spends no time looking back. Your inner being spends no time looking back, because your inner being understands the adaptive, eternal, moving forward being that you are and that we are. Your inner being knows that here we are with all that we've been and all that has been created vibrationally. So there's always and only a summoning forward, you see. So when you attempt to go back to fix something, to heal something, to reconcile something, to amend for something, you're pulling against all of the current and all of the energy that creates worlds. It's like you're defying who you really are in this attempt to fix something that never was broken and certainly isn't broken now.
That makes a lot of sense, especially here in Alaska.